past, and only love is here. All fear is past, and only love is here. All fear is past, because its source is gone, and all its thoughts gone with it, and all its thoughts gone with it. Love remains the only present state, whose source is here forever and forever. Love remains the only present state, whose source is here forever and forever. Can the world seem bright and clear and safe and welcoming, with all my past mistakes oppressing it and showing me distorted forms of fear? Yet in the present, love is obvious and its effects apparent. Yet in the present is love obvious. Yet in the present, love is obvious and its effects apparent. All the world shines in reflection of its holy light, and I perceive a world forgiven at last, and I perceive a world forgiven at last. All fear is past, and only love is here. All fear is past, and only love is here. Father, let not your holy world escape my holy sight today. Father, let not your holy world escape my sight today. Nor let my ears be deaf to all the hymns of gratitude. The hymns of gratitude the world is singing underneath the sounds of fear. Nor let my ears be deaf to all the hymns of gratitude the world is singing underneath the sounds of fear. There is a real world which the present holds safe from all mistakes. There is a real world which the present holds safe from all mistakes. And I would see only this world before my eyes today. And I would see only this world before my eyes today. All fear is past, and only love is here. All fear is past, and only love is here. All fear is past, and only love is here. All fear is past, and only love is here. Wow, we're in the present moment. Leave the past in the past and forgive it. Let it go. Well, I'm Forgiveness Willie, teaching forgiveness from the Ozarks, here for lesson 293, which we just sang, for Monday, October the 20th of 2025. And we're reading from the Foundation for Inner Peace version. And if you're reading from the original edition, it'll be the same reading that we'll be doing today. We're going to be starting with the Manual for Teachers today. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. All fear is past, and only love is here. So, what we want to keep in mind, that you want to do that practice period when you first wake up in the morning, that meditation. and you want to reaffirm it again right before you go to sleep, but you want to stay in a little longer quiet space and just let your thoughts be still. And if they do kind of move away from you, maybe have your book in front of you where you can open your eyes and remember if you forget. I kind of count it as an anchor in reality. All fear is past and only love is here. And let that kind of be what your mind is contemplating. And then throughout the day, every hour of the day, bring that to your memory. And when you bring it to your memory, ask yourself, am I at peace? Am I really letting the past be in the past and let it go? Am I practicing forgiveness? Okay, let's see. And I think if we can get this to stay put, I'm going to sing our what is the real world? What is the real world? The real world is a symbol, like the rest of what perception offers, yet it stands for what is opposite to what you made. Your world is seen through eyes of fear and brings the witnesses of terror to your mind. The real world cannot be perceived except through eyes forgiveness blesses. The real world cannot be perceived except through eyes forgiveness blesses. So they see a world where terror is impossible, and witnesses to fear cannot be found. The real world holds a counterpart for each unhappy thought reflected in your world. A sure correction for the sights of fear and sounds of battle, which your world contains, which your world contains. The real world shows a world seen differently, through quiet eyes and with a mind at peace. Nothing but rest is there, nothing but rest is there. There are no cries of pain and sorrow heard, for nothing there remains outside forgiveness. And the sights are gentle, only happy sights and sounds. Only happy sights and sounds can reach the mind. Reach the mind that has forgiven itself. What need has such a mind for thoughts of death, attack, and murder? What can it perceive surrounding it but safety, love, and joy? What is there it would choose to be condemned, and what is there it would judge against? The world it sees arises from a mind at peace within itself. The world it sees arises from a mind at peace within itself. No danger lurks in anything it sees, for it is kind. It is kind, and only kindness does it look upon. The real world is the symbol that the dream of sin and guilt is over, and God's Son no longer sleeps, and God's Son no longer sleeps. His waking eyes perceive the sure reflection of his Father's love, the certain promise that he is redeemed. The real world signifies the end end of time, for its perception makes time purposeless. The Holy Spirit has no need of time when it has served His purpose. Now He waits but that one instant more for God to take His final step. And time has disappeared, taking perception with it as it goes, and leaving but the truth to be itself. That instant is our goal, for it contains the memory of God. That instant is our goal, for it contains the memory of God. And as we look upon a world forgiven, it is He who calls to us and comes to take us home, reminding us of our identity, which our forgiveness has restored to us. And reminding us of our identity, which our forgiveness has restored to us. What is the real world? And of course, our lesson today, be sure to keep this one with you all day today. Over and over, tell yourself, all fear is past and only love is here. All fear is past and only love is here. All fear is past and only love is here. You know I'm doing good with the songs when I'm taking a shower and it's ringing in my ears. That's what we want it to do. We want that to be kind of with you all day. All fear is past and only love is here. Okay, and let's take a look in our manual for teachers. Now, let me say something before we start. We're going to read the introduction, and before we read it, it's only a page and a half. Before we read it, I want you to know that this would be a good place to have someone that you'd like to study A Course in Miracles. Tell them to join us for these last few days of this year in studying the manual for teachers. The reason why I say that is because a new student gets a whole lot of questions answered. Because remember, a good teacher is someone who can teach a student who doesn't know anything about A Course in Miracles. So invite your friends to listen in to at least long enough where they get a sense of whether they think they're going to like it or not. They might find that they're getting a lot of questions answered. Our first question we'll start tomorrow is, who are God's teachers? But today's the introduction, and I just wanted to point out that this would be a nice one to earmark and to remember to forward it to a friend that you thought might like to study A Course in Miracles next year. We'll be start again with lesson 1 next year, going through the whole book again. I'm going to try to hit both the Foundation for Inner Peace version will be our main study, but we'll also bring into it the original edition, so that you could have either book is my hope. I'm hoping we can do this. It's going to be a little tricky on some of those places where they did a lot of editing and rearranging, but we'll figure out if we can do it. Anyway, but either way, whichever Course in Miracles you have, come join us. Let's study it together. Okay, the introduction to Manual for Teachers. The role of teaching and learning is actually reversed in the thinking of the world. The reversal is characteristic. It seems as if the teacher and the learner are separated, the teacher giving something to the learner rather than to himself. Further, the act of teaching is regarded as a special activity in which one engages only a relatively small proportion of one's time. The Course, on the other hand, emphasizes that to teach is to learn, so that teacher and learner are the same. It also emphasizes that teaching is a constant process. It goes on every moment of the day and continues into sleeping thoughts as well. Wow, you want to learn? Well, be sure to do your lesson right before you go to sleep at night so that you can take that into your learning for the night. Paragraph 2. To teach is to demonstrate. There is only two thought systems, and you demonstrate that you believe one or the other is true all the time. From your demonstration, others learn, and so do you. The question is not whether you will teach, for in that there is no choice. The purpose of the course might be said to provide you with a means of choosing what you want to teach on the basis of what you want to learn. You cannot give to someone else, but only to yourself, and this you learn through teaching. You know, that reminds me of where it says, those who've forgiven themselves in our associated reading for today, what is the body? Can I go to it real quick? I wasn't going to say anything, so I didn't have it marked. But where it talks about, can I find it quickly? Anyway, you remember where it says, only happy sights and sounds can reach the mind that has forgiven itself. The way you forgive yourself is to forgive your brother, because they are yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself, because your neighbor is yourself. You just got to step back a little bit and see not just the cell, us being the cell, and them being the cell, but that's the whole body working in harmony. Okay? So you cannot give to someone else, but only to yourself. And this you learn through teaching. Teaching is but a call to witnesses to attest to what you believe. It is a symbol of conversion. It is a method of conversion. This is not done by words alone. Any situation must be to you a chance to teach others what you are and what they are to you. No more than that, but also never less. 3. The curriculum you set up is therefore determined exclusively by what you think you are and what you believe the relationship of others is to you. In the formal teaching situation, these questions may be totally unrelated to what you think you are teaching. Yet it is impossible not to use the content of any situation on behalf of what you really teach and therefore really learn. To this, the verbal content of your teaching is quite irrelevant. It may coincide with it or it may not. It is the teaching underlying what you say that teaches you. Teaching but reinforces what you believe about yourself. Its fundamental purpose is to diminish self-doubt. Well, there's the purpose of teaching, to come to believe what you're teaching, or to not doubt yourself. This does not mean that the self you are trying to protect is real, but it does mean that the self you think is real is what you teach. Paragraph 4. This is inevitable. There is no escape from it. How could it be otherwise? Everyone who follows the world's curriculum, and everyone here does follow it until he changes his mind, teaches solely to convince himself that he is what he is not. Herein is the purpose of the world. What else then would its curriculum be? Into this hopeless and closed learning situation, which teaches nothing but despair and death, God sends his teachers. And that'd be us. You can rise to be a teacher of God. And as they teach his lessons of joy and hope, their learning finally becomes complete. Wow, we just keep teaching that joy and hope is our only reality and forgive everything else until we become complete and realize that that is really true. That method of conversion applies to us. And the last paragraph, paragraph 5. Except for God's teachers, there would be little hope of salvation, for the world of sin would seem forever real. The self-deceiving must deceive, for they must teach deception. And what else is hell? This is a manual for the teachers of God. They are not perfect, or they would not be here. That reminds me of my teacher, Charlie, my yoga teacher. He's gone on now, but he was in his 80s and maybe even 90s when he was teaching me. and he said, in order to manifest a body on any level, you have to have a little delusion. Well, that's what I'm seeing here. And he says, except for God's teachers, there would be little hope of salvation, for the world of sin would seem forever real. The self-deceiving must deceive, for they must teach deception. And what else is hell? This is a manual for the teachers of God. They're not perfect, or they would not be here. Yet it is their mission to become perfect here. And so they teach perfection over and over in many, many ways until they have learned it. And then they are seen no more, although their thoughts remain a source of strength and truth forever. Who are they? How are they chosen? What do they do? How can they work out their own salvation and the salvation of the world? This manual attempts to answer these questions. And tomorrow we'll go into who are God's teachers. And when I said that, what I read earlier, it was out of the What is the Real World? And it was the last paragraph, or the third paragraph, the last sentence in the paragraph. Paragraph 2, excuse me. Only happy sights and sounds can reach the mind that has forgiven itself. That's why we want to learn to forgive. That's the last sentence of paragraph 2 in What is the Real World, our associated reading for today. Okay, and of course, all day today, every hour of the day, tell yourself all fear is past and only love is here. What's going on around the world as far as holidays? Diwali, it's the second day of Diwali, which is the Hindu festival of being grateful that light overcomes darkness. And it's the Hindus, Jains, and Sikhs all practice Diwali, and some of the newer Buddhists. It's also Guru Granth Day, which is a Sikh's holiday when the scriptures were made the eternal Guru. And then out of holidays and observances, I found it's Community Media Day, International Adjust Your Chair Day, and you'll need to do that because it's Day of Writing. And you might as well reach your desk, clean your virtual desktop day. World Statistics Day, International Chef's Day, International Sloth Day. There's 2 genera, the 3-toed, which is the Bradypus, and then there's the 2-toed, the Chalopus. And they're all in Central and South America, tropical rainforest. We all could learn a little bit from the sloth. Just slow down and enjoy life. Lung Health Day, talking about the rainforest. That's the lungs of the planet. Preserve it. We talked about it yesterday. A sloth the size of Arkansas is cut down every year. We've got to quit this. We're clearly polluting our own nests, folks. We've got to learn to stand with what's good for us, which having a healthy planet, healthy lungs, healthy forests is important. Miss America Rose Day, Youth Conference Day, Brandied Fruit Day, Office Chocolate Day, Call-in Day for Health Reform. Call a congressman, complain about things that you don't like going on, which there's plenty of those things I expect. But let's still practice forgiveness. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. We can stand with what's right and at the same time appreciate people's efforts and realize that all of us are one body. World Statistics Day, Suspenders Day, International Day of the Air Traffic Controller, and World Osteoporosis Day. And then out of edible landscaping, we've got the tea camellia. It's a Camellia genera. Species is sinensis. And it says of the tea camellia, the profuse flowering, dense, round, evergreen Camellia sinensis, whose leaves are used for green, black, and white tea, is an excellent ornamental. Glossy dark green leaves and white fall flowers with yellow centers, Bush is compact and round, about 6 feet tall and 5 foot wide. Tea is tender to strong winter winds and can defoliate from being too cold. So it has tender leaves. Tea is as hardy or hardier than most Camellia. In Zone 7, plants do well protected on the east side of a building. Generally, tea enjoys dappled shade. The bush is not susceptible to insect damage or disease. Leaves are harvested throughout the growing season, picked when they are small, spaced 6-foot circles, Zone 6B through 8. Tea Camellia. And I found that it does well in a pot, because I couldn't grow it outside here, but I could grow it in a pot, and it does well. It likes acid soil, 5.5 to 6.5, and good drainage. Okay, well, let's close with our song again. And thank you all so much for joining me. Be sure to pass this on to a friend. And if someone wants to join us next year, they'll have kind of an idea of what they're getting into by going through from now until the end of the. Of course, we're still going to go through 2 more small, psychotherapy, purpose, process, and practice, and song of prayer. But other than that, we'll be going through the manual for teachers, and it'll be a nice preface for starting with the course. All fear is past, and only love is here. All fear is past, and only love is here. All fear is past, because its source is gone, and all its thoughts gone with it. Love remains the only present state. Love remains the only present state, whose source is here forever and forever. Can the world seem bright and clear and safe and welcoming, with all my past mistakes oppressing it, and showing me distorted forms of fear? Yet in the present, love is obvious. Love is obvious, and its effects apparent. Yet in the present, love is obvious, and its effects apparent. All the world shines in reflection of its holy light, and I perceive a world forgiven at last. Father, let not your holy world escape my sight today, nor let my ears be deaf to all the hymns of gratitude. The hymns of gratitude the world is singing underneath the sounds of fear. There is a real world which the present holds, safe from all past mistakes. And I would see only this world before my eyes today. All fear is past, and only love is here. All fear is past, and only love is here. And a word from peace from the Symbian people of northeastern Italy. They live on the 3 rivers of the Adige, the Po, and the Siscia. They moved in there from Denmark in the first century. And the word is bride from the Symbians. All fear is past, and only love is here. Bride be with you.